This very first scene is just him shirtless, showing off all his scars and tattoos to be like, he used to be a yakuza. Don't forget that. The Way of the House Husband is a Japanese anime that is a kind of slice of life, but with a twist. The husband is a house husband who is an ex-Japanese mafia member. So he's an ex-yakuza. Now he is killing the house husband game. Okay, so the very first scene is just a nice juicy shot of all his scars and his tattoos to let you know that he is a yakuza. And then he grabs the sword and cuts into a tamagoyaki, which goes into a cute little bento box. So let me just go back to that scene where we've got a good shot of the bento. Okay, so a bento box is a lunchbox, basically. And this is most often used for school children, but if you're lucky enough, maybe you have a partner who will make you lunch, then you can also have it for office workers. And in this bento box, we're really kind of going straight in at the deep end here because there are so many things to unpack. Literally. So let's start with the thing that he's just chopped up and put in there. That is called a tamagoyaki. I've actually made tamagoyaki on my channel before. You make like little sheets of egg and then you roll it up and then you put another sheet and you roll it up and you roll it until it becomes a rolled egg omelette. Then the next one, there is a cute little bear looking thing. That's an onigiri. An onigiri is just a rice ball. That one I guess is probably just like a little bit of salt, but you could put something inside it. You could put like tuna mayo in there or like some fish. But the little like black bits that are on it are nori, which is seaweed. In like 100 yen stores, there are these little things that cut out those shapes. So you can get like a little stamp and you stamp into the seaweed, or he might have just cut it with that giant knife sword thing. In the top right corner is a karage, which is a fried chicken. And so that usually uses a chicken thigh, which is marinated and then deep fried, and it's really, really good. And then up in the other corner, taco sausage. And when I say taco, I don't mean Mexican taco, I mean taco meaning octopus in Japanese. And I'm not really sure why this is such a common thing in bento boxes. I guess it's just because it's quite easy, but it makes it look like you've put a bit of effort into it. But basically you're just cutting a little like wiener sausage and making it look like an octopus. So it's kind of cute, I guess. And then there's something behind his hand, which I'm not entirely sure what it is. We never quite get a good shot of it, but I'm gonna assume it's something pickled because most bento boxes come with a little bit of a pickled thing to balance out the flavor or to give you a little bit of an accent, I don't know, like a little bit of sourness, you know? You can actually buy bento boxes, like lunch boxes, pretty much anywhere in Japan. You can get them at convenience stores, you can get them at supermarkets. And you can also get something called an ekiben, which is a station bento, which you take on the bullet train. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so he made that bento box for Miku, who just leaves the house without it. So he rushes after her. He didn't make it to her. He got stopped by the police. And now there is a knife salesman at the door. Okay, so it looks like he's gonna cut him up like a yakuza would, and then he just cuts up some fish and starts making something. And then he makes a Hamburg steak plate. Okay, so once again, we have a bunch of little dishes going on, which is pretty normal in Japan. We've got a salad, some spaghetti there, 2 token potato wedges, some yellow thing that I cannot figure out what it is. Please let me know if you know what that thing is. A glass of orange juice, corn soup, ketchup rice, and a Hamburg steak. So sometimes this is translated as a Salisbury steak or a Hamburg steak. In Japanese, it's just hamburger, and it is neither a hamburger nor a steak. So normally when you have a burger or like a really good burger, then it's just gonna be meat that's like well seasoned and friggin' sizzling on that pan. But for a hamburger, then you usually have a lot of stuff inside it. It's not just the meat. I made one recently which had egg, breadcrumbs, milk, and onions in there. It makes it really, really soft. And this is part of a genre of food in Japan called yoshoku, which is Western food. But it's actually not Western food. Like obviously, like, have you ever seen this kind of food anywhere other than Japan? Probably not, because this is like basically a Japanese invention that's kind of been inspired by Western food. A lot of places that sell set meals in Japan will have a Salisbury steak. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot. One of the like secret ingredients that he puts into this is fish. A lot of Japanese dishes will have fish in it just to give it an extra umami taste. This is something that I've never seen in a recipe before, so maybe I'll try it out. So the knife guy gets freaked out, and then Tatsu, the main character, goes out and he bumps into one of his old yakuza buddies. And he says, look, I don't do all that yakuza stuff anymore. I like to cook. I'm a house husband. I'm protecting my house in a different way now. And so they go to his cooking class. So this is a Croquette in Japanese, which means croquette, and I talked a little bit about them before in the video where I went to Karuizawa and tried a bunch of street food.
Can you smell it?
Basically, that name either came from Portuguese or French, but it is kind of similar to what you would get with a French croquette. So in Japan, if you didn't say what the flavor of the croquette was, then it would just be a standard one, which is potato and meat. But in this case, they said it was a cheese one. So it's got potato, which is like mashed potato, and then you add cheese in there as well, coat it in a batter with panko, which is breadcrumbs, and then you deep fry it. Ta-da! You can just eat it like that, or you can serve it with a kind of little sauce. But it is deep fried, so I don't think that people make this every day, you know. I get mine from the supermarket. Yeah, there's not much to say about that one, other than the fact that it really pisses off his friend. And then he has some non-food related adventures, so we're not really interested in that, are we? Basically, he goes out and he is looking for a present for Miku because it's her birthday. Miku comes back and he's being really weird. The whole room is decorated really strangely. I cannot stress enough that this is not a normal way to celebrate a birthday in Japan. So he's kind of made the room into like a shrine. It's like he's made offerings to a god. Like he's put all of this food out and he's put, clearly there's some alcohol that's been set out as well. All around the room there are these scrolls that say like shrines names. The character that is up there, it says celebration basically, but it's actually the first character of sushi. I've got to assume that he's made this birthday cake, but this is a kind of cake that you can get from most cake shops in Japan. It's just a kind of sponge cake that's really, really soft, and then it's covered in whipped cream and then strawberries. And also, like, okay, it just annoys me. The girl goes, "My face," in English. That is not what she's saying. She's being scared at his face, not her own face. Netflix, what are you doing? And then she's already had that gift, so she's like, well, thanks, but I've already got this one. And he's disappointed, and then the cat has a little shenanigan with the neighboring dog, and that's the end of the first episode. So even in that one little episode, which is like 17 minutes long, we looked at so many different Japanese dishes, and I really enjoy looking at these things and sharing that aspect of Japanese culture with you that I just find so interesting. So if you find it interesting too, then please let me know in the comments or give me a thumbs up so that I know whether to make more of these, because if you're interested, then I can just keep going. There's a whole new series. I could do the whole thing if you want. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll see you when we do the next episode. Bye bye.